from the Rumble, and good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for important and interesting happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't realize that you have. I am Xander, and you, of course, are you viewer. Thank you very much for showing up. Today is Wednesday. Wait, is it Wednesday? I don't know anymore. No, it's Thursday, aka Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Let's start off in the year 415, shall we? Jewish autonomy in Palestine ended by the Romans and Rabban Gamliel forced from office. Alright. Moving on up into 1346, Battle of Neville's Cross. King David II of Scotland was captured by Edward III of England at Calais and imprisoned in the Tower of London for 11 years. That's a long time to be in that cold, drafty building. 1456, University of Greifswald was established, making it the second oldest university in northern continental Europe, also for a period the oldest in Sweden and Prussia. Well, alright. 1660, what do we got here? 9 regicides, the men who signed the death warrant of Charles I, were hanged, drawn, and quartered. Another was just hanged. Alright. And for those of you who do not know what drawn and quartered means, that means basically they tied your hands and your feet to 4 different horses, you know, 1 horse per each appendage, and set them off in different directions. And you can only imagine what your body rips into. 1662, Charles II of Great Britain sold Dunkirk to France for 2.5 million livres, or 320,000 English pounds at the time. What that rounds up to today, I have not the foggiest. I am nowhere near that level of economic prowess to even begin to figure out how to... Well, I guess I can start trying to figure out how to calculate that. That takes time. So, if anyone figures that out, though, you know, let us know in the comment section. That'll be cool. 1691 here, new royal charter for Massachusetts, now including Maine and Plymouth. All right. 1777. British General John Burgoyne surrendered at Saratoga during the American Revolutionary War. Alright. We all know about Saratoga. 1787 here, Boston black U.S. citizens petition legislature for equal school facilities. I am all for that. We're all humans, you know? Like, 1800, Dutch colony of Curaçao was transferred to Great Britain. Okay. 6 years later, former leader of the Haitian Revolution, Emperor Jacques I of Haiti, was assassinated. Yikes. Yeah, well, you know, once you've outlived your usefulness to certain groups, then you're done. 1808, political rights of Jews was suspended in the Duchy of Warsaw. That is not nice. 1814, London beer flood. I almost read that as beef. A beef flood. That's weird. A beer flood. Bursting vat at Verks and Company Brewery flooded the city streets with over 300,000 gallons of porter ale, killing 8, plus a possible 9th later from alcohol poisoning. So 8 people drowned in beer. That's a way to go. 1829, first supposed attack on abandoned German teenager Kaspar Hauser. Why? Like, why are we... Who's this Hauser person? Oh, okay. Kaspar Hauser was a German youth who claimed to have grown up in total isolation of a darkened cell. Hauser's claims and his subsequent death from a stab wound sparked much debate and controversy both in Nuremberg and abroad. Theories propounded at the time identified him as a member of the Grand Ducal House of Baden, hidden away because of royal intrigue. However, there were also allegations that Hauser was an imposter. In 2024, a scientific study ruled that Hauser's royal descent by comparing mitochondrial DNA haplotypes with the House of Baden. Alright. So, yeah, he might have just been thrown into a hole because they didn't want competition or something. Or he was a pretender and, you know, they weren't messing around. Either way, putting somebody, you know, in a darkened cell for, like, you know, years is absolutely... like, beyond evil. I mean, at least in hell, where there's fire, fire gives light, you know? So, yeah. 1850 here, Knickerbocker Engine Co. number 5, company number 5, I believe, was organized. Alright. 1854, French and British forces bombarded Sevastopol for the first time during the Crimean War. Okay. 1 year later, Bessemer's steel-making process, patented by Henry Bessemer, revolutionizes manufacturing. All right. 1855, Industrial Revolution. That was around the correct time. Yep. 1860, the first British Open men's golf held at Prestwick Golf Course. Willie Park Sr. won the inaugural event by 2 strokes over fellow Scot Tom Moore Sr. All right, they're both from Scotland. Aye. 1871, Great Britain annexed Griqualand in South Africa. Okay, Britain doing what Britain does. While that was happening, U.S. President Ulysses S. Grant suspended habeas corpus in parts of South Carolina during prosecutions against the Ku Klux Klan. You know, I am like, you can't just suspend things at your convenience like that. Like, you know, what's the point of having things if you can just, like, not follow them at your convenience? You know, I am not a supporter of the Klan. Believe me. You know, they're a democratic organization that was created to strong-arm, you know, any blacks against from voting when they newly got their freedom post-Civil War. You know? They were what basically all these progressive groups are these days, just a strong arm of one side of the political, you know, movement. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, both sides are awful. You know, doesn't matter, you know, right, left, red, blue, liberal, conservative, Democratic, Republic, doesn't matter. They're 2 wings on the same bird, and it ain't an eagle, it's a vulture picking your ass. But I digress. Let's move on up here to 1876. Henry Morton Stanley reached Lualaba River, headstream of the Congo River, went on to travel down it, proving it is not the source of the Nile. Alright, that's pretty cool. Good old Henry Morton Stanley, one of the more known names in exploration history. 1885, baseball set all players' salaries at $1,000 to $2,000 for 1885 season. It's not bad. I mean, nice, you know. I mean, you're getting paid to play a game and have fun, all right? Like, I know there's a lot of work that goes into it, but at the end of the day, you're just running on a field chasing after balls. You know, what real contribution are you doing? Like, 1888, Thomas Edison filed a patent for the optical phonograph, the first movie. I wonder who he stole that from, you know? 1894, Ohio National Guard killed 3 lynchers while rescuing a black guy. All right, yeah, black man. Well, I don't feel bad for the lynchers at all. At the same time, though, like, did they just like get there and just start opening fire? I'd like to know how this went down, just out of curiosity. 1899, Sutro Railroad sold to Robert F. Morrow for $215,000. Wow, almost $250,000 for a railroad. Not bad. 1904, the Bank of Italy, later known as the Bank of America, was founded by Amadeo Giannini, opened its doors in Jackson Square, San Francisco. And anyone out there who has a Bank of America account, just get out of there. You know? Very much like, you know, other things Italy has invented, like fascism, you know, Benito Mussolini. Yeah. 1907 here, Guglielmo Marconi's company began the first commercial transatlantic wireless service between Glace Bay, Nova Scotia, Canada, and Clifton, Ireland. Alright. 1912 as well, Bulgaria, Greece, and Serbia declared war on Turkey. Has to be during the First World War there. Just out of curiosity, do we have any comments or even any viewers? No, it doesn't look like it. So let me check the YouTube section here. No. Alright. 1916, Dutch women demonstrated for female suffrage. Alright. 1917, first British bombing of Germany. That's to be during the First World War as well. 1918, Yugoslavia proclaimed itself a republic. Alright. In the year 1919, Radio Corporation of America, RCA, was created as a subsidiary of General Electric. Yeah, Government Electric, more likely. 1920, Decatur Staleys, later known as the Chicago Bears, the Chicago Bears, play the first American Professional Football Association game against an affiliated APFA team, defeated Rock Island Independence 7-0 at Douglas Park, Rock Island, Illinois. Yep, alright, I bet they found that rather Illinoising there. 1921, Belgian public library law went into effect, or went into force. I want to know what that is. Belgium's public library law. Okay. Public libraries in the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. Okay. Decline all. I don't want any of your cookies. Let's see here. 1977. Was this 19? No, this was 1921. I want to know 1921. So get rid of that. Well, this is not really giving me exactly what I want right off the bat. I'm sure, with some research, the answer can be found. Once again, if anybody watching this wants to do the footwork, figure out exactly what was entailing in this 1921 Belgium's public library law that went into force, at least. This is when it started. Why that was even, well, I mean, all of history really should be documented, so maybe this is just a nothing article, but who knows. Anyway, we got to move on up here, though. 1927, Van Johnson, in failing health, retired as American League president, and this is significant because he was the founder of baseball's American League. So, he was on his way out, the end of an era. Big stuff right here. He and Cy Young both have this, really, short, boyish haircuts. It was really weird. It doesn't look normal. I don't know. 1933, Albert Einstein arrived in the U.S. as a refugee from Nazi Germany. Yep. Makes me wonder, why the hell am I still in California? I mean, so many people got out of here, we lost a seat in the House of Representatives. Why am I still here? 1934, the Aldrich family premiered on the radio. Okay. 1 year later, Pacific Association of AAU voted not to participate in the Berlin Olympics. I wonder why. Oh, well, yeah, Nazi. Yeah, that would make sense. 1939, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, directed by Frank Capra and starring James Stewart and Jean Arthur, was released. I seriously forgot about what was happening in Germany in 1935 for a second there. I was just like, well, that would explain it, 1940, German occupiers issued identity cards. Yep. 1941, USS Kearney became the first U.S. destroyer torpedoed in World War II, while the country was actually still officially neutral. A couple months from now, something in Hawaii would change that, even though we did it after Canada. Weird. 1941, or actually 1943 here, Burma Railway, built by Allied POWs and Asian laborers, is completed. Pardon me. I don't know where that came from. Is completed for use by the Japanese Army, the Railway of Death. And I wonder if Bridge over the River Kwai was this thing. Was that Vietnam, or was that this? Let me look this up. Bridge over the River Kwai. Okay. Burma Railway. Okay, was this Burma? Burma Railway. Okay, yeah. So the bridge over the River Kwai. Yeah, 1957. That's before our involvement in Vietnam. So it's not about Vietnam. So I gotta watch that movie. It's Ron Swanson's favorite. So. 1945, Loyalty Day in Argentina. Mass demonstrations held to release Juan Perón, the general and president of Argentina. Wasn't he like a dictator or something? No. Oh, he was a good guy. I'm sorry I'm yawning, man. I guess I need oxygen. That's what people don't realize about yawning is when your body really needs oxygen. So then you just goes into involuntary suck up as much air as possible. I need oxygen. That's why. It's a natural reflex. 1956, Around the World in 80 Days, based on the book by Jules Verne, directed by Michael Anderson and starring David Niven and Cantinflas, premiered in New York. All right. Look at this guy with his sunglasses. Cantinflas. 1956, the chess game of the century, 13-year-old Bobby Fischer defeated 1953 U.S. champion Donald Byrne in the Rosenwald Memorial Tournament at the Marshall Chess Club in New York City. While that was going on, England's first large-scale nuclear power station opened. I wonder what its name was, though. Let's look that up here. See if we get anything on Calder Hall nuclear power station. I remember talking about this before. We've covered when it was closed. So yeah, several times on this show. 1956, Pakistan defeated Australia by 9 wickets at first attempt. Oh, crikey. Look at that. And also in 1957, musical film Jailhouse Rock, starring Elvis Presley, premiered in Memphis, Tennessee. Jailhouse Rock. I don't even know the beat anymore. It's been so long since I heard that song. 2 years later, 1959, Queen Elizabeth II was fined $140 for withdrawing her racehorse. Oh, heavens to Betsy. 1 year later, 1960, U.S. and Britain signed an accord granting U.S. access to the British nuclear submarine base in Holyloch, Scotland. Ah, nuclear subs. 365 days later, in 1961, Battle of Paris, police killed 210 Algerians. What? There was a battle in Paris against the Algerians? Like, were they invading? What's happening here? Paris Massacre of 1961, okay. It was a mass killing of Algerians who were living in Paris by the French National Police. During the Algerian War, under orders from the head of the Parisian police, Maurice Papin, the National Police attacked a demonstration by 30,000 pro-National Liberation Front, FLN Algerians. After 37 years of denial and censorship, the press, in 1998, the government finally acknowledged 40 deaths. While some historians estimate that between 200 and 300 Algerians died. Death was due to heavy-handed beating by the police, as well as mass drownings, and police officers threw demonstrators into the River Seine. Jeez! God, man, France, what? Guys, don't mess with France. You know, just leave them alone. They'll mess with themselves. They don't need your help. And if you get in the way of France attacking itself, then they'll attack you. So Algeria did a stupid. Just don't. Just don't. 1962, the Beatles made their live television debut, appearing on Manchester's local People and Places program, performing Some Other Guy and their new single, Love Me Do. Alright. And that happened in 1962. 1963, the Beatles recorded I Wanna Hold Your Hand at EMI Studios in London. And now we all know why I didn't get into the singing career. 1964, Australian athlete Betty Cuthbert took her 4th career Olympic gold medal as she won the women's 400 meter at the Tokyo Games, an Olympic record 52.0. I don't know what happened to that accent. It turned into something, but I don't even know what it was. In the first ever Olympic women's pentathlon, Irina Press of the Soviet Union set a world record 5,246 points to win the gold medal at the Tokyo Games in 1964 as well. 1967, Hair premiered at Broadway. You know, the musical with the big hair, and you know how much they loved the sprays in the 70s. And then in the 80s would put a kibosh on that because there's a hole in the ozone. While that was going on, memorial service for Brian Epstein at New London Synagogue. And I wonder if he had any relation to Jeffrey. But look at the way he died. Accidental drug overdose. That seems a little suspicious. You know, I don't think our so-and-so didn't so-and-so himself thing. You know, I don't think he was the first one. So, 1968, Soviet athlete Viktor Saneev set world record 17.39 meters to win the triple jump at the Mexico City Olympics. World record improved 5 times by 3 different athletes during the competition. Good lord, man! Like, you want to talk? You want to talk about evidence of juicing? If a record gets destroyed 5 times in one event, then that's yeah. 1969, New York Jets, or the Nets, the Nets. I don't even know where the Jets are. Why can't I read today? 1969, let's try this again. New York Nets moved from Comac to Island Garden in Hempstead, New York. Okay. 1971, Cleveland Metro Park's Rocky River Nature Center opened. While that was going on, it was estimated today, at least in 1971 here, that approximately 16,000 households were withholding rent and rates for council houses as part of the campaign of civil disobedience against internment organized by the Social Democratic and Labour Party in Northern Ireland. And keep on the fight, guys. You know, you gotta kick Britain's ass out of your land. Free Ireland, all of it. Free Scotland, all of it. You know? 1972, Chuck Berry's My Ding-a-Ling was #1. Ah, okay. Well, he apparently had the #1 song for that. I'm not going to make that joke. 1973, OPEC oil ministers used oil as an economic weapon in the Arab-Israeli war, mandating a cut in exports and recommending an embargo against unfriendly states. Well, I don't like this artificial scarcity crap that we do with diamonds, with oil, you know. Like, we need oil to function. And whether or not the whole thing about, like, oil is replenishable is... Because there's this whole thing going on about they're finding that these once tapped out wells, the oil reserves have refilled. Like, maybe not completely, but, you know, they're rebuilding. So it might be a renewable resource to a certain degree. I don't know. But, I mean, not to sound cliche or anything, but everything you know is a lie. Everything you ever know will be a lie because things will always change. We never know. The only thing you know is that you don't know. So you just gotta work with what you have and realize what you know might not actually be true and learn how to, you know, be malleable. If you were able to change to become more environmentally conscious, then you gotta change to become betterly environmentally conscious. I don't know. 1974, Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope. Reminds me of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Closed at Playhouse, New York City after 1,065 performances. Just type in the full word, you freaking lazy ass main source people. 1974, NBA New Orleans Jazz began a 28-game road losing streak. Ugh. I guess not everybody likes jazz. NHL Washington Capitals first franchise home victory, defeating Chicago 4-3. 365 days later, 1975, first space shuttle main engine test at National Space Tech Labs in Mississippi. Mississippi. Tennessee. Tennessee. Hawaii. Hawaii. 1975, UN passed resolution saying Zionism is a form of racism, and it is. When you actually really look into that particular religion, a particular religion that always claims victimhood, you know, and every one of their, you know, holidays is about how they defeated a stronger, you know, more powerful people. You see that they are, quote-unquote, God's chosen people, and everybody else, you know, the Goyim, the Gentiles, they're here to be servants. They're lesser beings. That's not me saying it. Do the research yourself. If I'm wrong, let me know. If I'm right, let me know. I don't care either way. That's you know, I'm you know, as I said, the only thing we know is what we don't know. So, 1978, actually 1977 here, Canada began regular live TV coverage of Parliament. All right. 1978, New York Islanders start a streak of 23 undefeated games at home, 15-0 to 8. All right. So it looks like they tied 8 of them. So that would be undefeated. They're not being defeated, but they're not winning either. Can you claim yourselves not as a defeat if you don't win? I mean, if you don't win, but you don't lose, it's a tie. But would that be considered a defeat? You know? Like, I mean, in like, you know, like, think about it this way. In a theater of war, if one army, you know, well, like, you know, doesn't conquer the other one, like if they're tied, it's a draw. But there are no draws in war. You either win or you lose, right? Like, I don't know. Anyway, in 1978 as well, President Jimmy Carter signed a bill restoring U.S. citizenship to Jefferson Davis. That's a weird thing to do. Who cares? Like, he waived his citizenship and started his own country, Confederacy, and all that crap. Anyway, Yankees won their 22nd World Championship, capping their great comeback year. All right. 1979, Di Bautista of Mexico completed a 20,000-meter walk in a record 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 6.8 seconds. Pardon me. 200 meter? It can't be 20,000 meter. It can't be miles. We also have U.S. President Jimmy Carter signed legislation creating the Department of Education. Boo! We do not need more government entities. Afuera! So, 1982, first live orchestra on a U.S. commercial network since 1954, the National Symphony. Symphony. 1986, U.S. Senate approved immigration bill prohibiting hiring of illegal aliens and offered amnesty to illegals who entered prior to 1982. Hey, why don't we have this? Bring this back. You know? 2 years later, Philip Morris announced an $11 billion tender offer for Kraft. So cash tender, I guess, or $11 billion cash. I didn't even realize there was that much cash to be had. Yeah. So the Philip Morris, isn't that a tool company? But Kraft, Kraft Foods, mac and cheese and all that stuff. Or as they say in Canada, Kraft dinner. 1990, Green Day singer Billy Joel Armstrong dropped out of school to pursue a career in music. What can I say, but he doesn't want to be an American idiot. 1991, Blue Man Group's first performance in New York City. That's pretty cool. Trying to keep up, on the main source here with our script. 1991 as well, news anchor Bree Walker-Lampley filed an FCC complaint that LA radio KFI AM personally attacked her by discussing her having a disformed baby. No, you dumb bitch, the baby was attacked, not you. Common female, always thinking everything is about her. He's not attacking you. He's talking about what you produced. Like, stupid. 1991, a Pittsburgh Penguin Paul Coffey set NHL defenseman scoring record with 1,053 career points, 309 goals, and 744 assists. Has this been broken? Well, let's see here. NHL defenseman scoring record. Let's see here. So let's just do a surface level on this. See if most points defenseman career NHL records. Okay, I do not want any cookies. So we have number one, and we were just talking about who? Paul Coffey, and that was 91. Correct? Well, it was here, but this has since been just overdone by Ray Bork of whatever these teams are. Here's the stats. If you want, go to Ecosia, search for NHL defenseman setting scoring record, and it's right here, most points defenseman. And it'll show you this. So if you're interested in seeing this, here you go. Ooh, hey, wait, no, that's Mark Howe. Not Cordy Howe. I wonder if he's related to Cordy Howe. Is that the right name, Cordy Howe? I don't even remember anymore. There's so many. I've been learning so much about sports the past couple of years, and everything's filling my brain too much. 1995, Keith Moore sentenced to 6 years for robbing Sting of $9 million. Wow, that's a sting right there. Hold on a second. Where's my... Oh, there's my sad horn that I was talking about earlier. They brought it back. Good. 1998, at Jesse in the Niger Delta, Nigeria, a petroleum pipeline exploded, killing about 1,200 villagers, some of whom were scavenging gasoline. That is awful. In the year 2000, a train crash at Hatfield, north of London, leading to collapse of rail track. I guess that's the name of the company, or something like that. 2003, eunuchs in the Indian state of Madhya Pradesh floated the political party in GT Jatawa politics. Is that about voting? Did they float it with votes, or like what is this? What does this mean? Did they carry them? Like, what does it mean by a bunch of people floating? Well, this is just telling me about eunuchs in India. If anybody can tell me what this means, like, is this a word involving the politics? I don't know. 2003, Pinnacle fitted to the roof of Taipei 101, a 101-floor skyscraper in Taipei. Gee, I would have never guessed that. Allowing it to surpass the Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur by 50 meters. The Petronas Twin Towers, by the way, they're towers, and there's two of them. That's why they're called twins. I just want to make sure, since they had to tell us what exactly Taipei 101 meant. To become the world's tallest high-rise, 165 feet. All right, cool. 2005, the Colbert Report, hosted by Stephen Colbert, first aired on TV, you know, when he actually was cool, you know, before he became a leftist idiot. 2005 as well, Thierry Henry became Arsenal's all-time leading scorer with 2 goals against Sparta Prague in the Champions League. Seriously, who dresses up as a syringe and dances around on stage? You freaking clown. 2006, the United States population reached 300 million. Well, now we're at 350 some odd billion or something like that. Hold on a second. U.S. population. USA population 2024. Let's see. 335,893,238 people to be precise. As of January 1st, 2024. At least on the record. So, but yeah. It's a lot. 2007, the Dalai Lama received the United States Congressional Gold Medal. All right. Good Dalai Lama. 2008, Iran's attempt to create the world's largest sandwich at 1,500 meters failed when the crowds ate it before it could be measured. Well, you know, you're in a country like Iraq, you can't really do much food-related things in a nation full of starving people. So, 2008, Sachin Tendulkar became the highest run scorer ever to Test cricket, batting or beating Brian Lara's record and passing 12,000 runs against Australia in Mohali. All right, I almost said Austria. Why can't I pronounce things today? 2010, Brother Andre was the first Canadian to be canonized post-federation by Pope Benedict the 16th. Okay. All right, so post-federation, so post-federation of the nation. 2012, exoplanet Alpha Centauri b discovered orbiting Alpha Centauri, announced, later thought to be a false finding. So it's thought to be a false finding. We don't know yet. I don't know. Does Alpha Centauri b exist? I'm not sure. That's going to require some. I could do a surface level scratch of the article, but I'm probably not going to find anything. So I'm just seeing. Hey, we have a couple viewers. Hello, viewers. Yeah, over there on Rumble. Nothing here on YouTube, unfortunately, though. But anyway, 2012 as well, Lance Armstrong lost a host of endorsements in the wake of his doping scandal. Yeah. Oh. Tens of thousands protested against austerity measures in Greece. Okay. 2015, Amy Schumer's comedy special, Amy Schumer Live at the Apollo, premiered on HBO. Gee, I wonder if she talked about anything beyond her female parts. You know? Oh, am I funny yet? Even if I'm not even sure if this is the right person. I don't know. 2015, star forward Cristiano Ronaldo became Real Madrid's all-time leading scorer across all competitions, overtaking club legend Raul with his 324th goal in a 3-0 win over Levante. And I know I did not pronounce goal right. I'm talking about soccer, so I gotta call it goal! I don't have the lung capacity. 2017, George Soros announced he had donated $18 billion to his grant-making network, the Open Society Foundations. You monster. Like, man, I can't wait until the people of this earth take back what is rightfully ours. 2017, Islamic State headquarters in Raqqa has declared under full control of the U.S.-led alliance by Syrian Democratic Forces, the SDF, spokesperson Talal Selo, after 4 months of fighting. We also have Australian state of Queensland decriminalized abortion. Yeah, okay. 2018, Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch puppeteer Carol Spinney left Sesame Street after 50 years. That's a long time to be working on one show. We also have Canada legalize the sale of recreational cannabis, the second country after Uruguay. All right. India's junior foreign minister, MJ Akbar, was highest official to resign in a Me Too case after sexual harassment accusations by numerous women. You know, once again, I'm not sure how valid or invalid, you know, these are. You know, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of actual victims in that thing, but now, unfortunately, that entire situation is looked in a negative light because of all the liars. It's really sad. 2019, Mick Mulvaney, President Trump's acting chief of staff, said the White House withheld nearly $400 million in military aid from Ukraine to further Trump's own political interests. I really doubt that. You know, he wasn't withholding that for his own gain. He just refused to pay into the money laundering machine. I am not a Trump supporter at all, but I don't know. You know, I don't know what to think about him anymore. I used to believe he was a puppet, but I don't know. 2019, the blob, mysterious yellow slime organism, Physarum polycilium, with 720 sexes, moved and can solve problems to go on to display. What? So solve problems to go on display at the Paris Zoological Park. What? What the hell? What did I just read? Let me look this up here really quick. That was weird. The blob of Paris Zoo, unusual organ. Okay. Huh. What is this? Unable to load video. Well, then let me load the video. Unable to load video. Okay, well, huh. This warrants some research here. I'm gonna. Well, that's CNN article, so never mind that. Can't trust Indian news anymore these days. I'm gonna look into this later on here. What else do we got? In 2019, Turkey agreed to a ceasefire in northern Syria for 5 whole entire days. Oh my goodness. To allow withdrawal of Kurdish troops after talks between U.S. Vice President Mike Pence and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. All right. 2019 as well, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced new Brexit deal with the EU, removed the Northern Ireland backstop clause. I don't know exactly what that entailed, but disheveled ass looking British Donald Trump guy, not a good guy. I do not have any nice things to say about him. 2019 as well, U.S. adults identifying as Christian fell 12% in a decade to 2/3, according to the Pew Research Center. Born-again Protestants fell to 16%. There's a war on Christianity. 2020, Chicago declared the rattiest city in the United States for the 6th year in a row by pest control service Orchid. Gee, I wonder why. 2022, K-pop band BTS announced that all 7 members will be serving in the South Korean military for the required 18-month minimum. Good. Get them out of the music industry. They're garbage. 2023, China's President Winnie the Pooh celebrated 10 years of its Belt and Road project at summit in Beijing, attended by Russian leader Vladimir Putin. This guy has the longest face of a human I've ever seen in my life. I don't understand, like lengthwise it's no different, but visual it looks a mile long, dude. I don't understand how he's doing that. And also, last but not least, here 2023, just this time last year as well, India's Supreme Court ruled against legalizing same-sex marriage and adoption for queer couples. You know, well, I'm not a supporter of that decision, but with how things have been playing out, you know, yeah, I don't know what to think anymore. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that on this show. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. So much history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion. Check out our sources for more, please. I implore you. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, or at least try to. That rounds up to 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows we are working on, trying to get back in the fold and all that stuff. From history to news, movie reactions and reviews, gaming, videos and memes, Omni Kitchen, and everything else in between on Talk Show. Check the underbar. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander, and you are you. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until later, which we might have King's Entertainment tonight, we'll see. Who knows? Toodles!